Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching I Allegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because this is going to be the summer of economic hell. Dun, dun, dun. Hit the like button. Be happy. Subscribe to the channel. And today we have a sponsor, Patriot Gold Group, which I will talk about in a bit. I love stuff like this because, certain sectors of our economy hate the current administration. And CNN came up with a laundry list of things that could go wrong potentially in the summer of 2025. So I thought, what the heck, let's cover this for you because it just seems so good and so simple. Now, again, we have strong fundamentals in the economy. Yeah, because in one sense, things are doing well. Numbers are pulling back, but it's not in our pocketbooks, guys. People are making less money. Our buying power is off. I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples, too, of things that people sent me. And, with that, I guess everything's great, right? Well, no, not really. You've got all this uncertainty, with inflation, with clear signs of unemployment. And, it's funny. I have a buddy of mine who's looking for a job, the guy that was laid off and has two companies that are interested in him. Fourth interview with these companies. It's not uncommon to interview with a company 6 times. 6 times till you get the job. Now, I'm not talking about working, at Walmart, but I'm talking about a big company. So that was wild. That blew me away that it took him that far. He's at, I think, number 5 right now. And then they have a final interview where he'd have to fly back to the company. We have all these trade deadlines. Trump put the trade deadlines of July 9th. And this is going to create major havoc in the economy and turmoil. Canada 2 days ago, we're going to tax you guys, and then they came back, and now they're not going to tax all the tech companies. So good, okay? It's funny how these guys blow hard, and it makes the news media, and then they don't. This is the lake that had all the pollen and everything blown over it. But it's weird because this happened twice this year, which I've never seen before. Never seen it this late in July, where you have this lake completely covered. So I thought I'd walk around this thing and show it to you. So the tariffs don't seem to be the problem that they've been. There was that cargo ship that just really kind of went under the radar. You had 3,000 cars on this cargo ship. They caught on fire. There are lithium batteries because the majority of the cars that were on the cargo ship were EV cars. So when an EV car burns, you guys have seen these stories about how bad the batteries are and how they just go on and on and on. What happens when you dump that into an ocean and a boat, ship, cargo ship, tanker sinks with 3,000 cars on it? How bad is that for the environment? Yeah. You're terrible. We've got the debt ceiling drama, with a potential default in August. And again, guys, the big beautiful bill, what floors me? You guys can answer this political question for me. And that is, here it is that we cannot finance anything for ourselves. We have to agree on it. Everybody disagrees. But you can write a check to all these different foreign governments like nothing. Sit there. You can fund all these foreign governments with all this USAID, and we can't fund our veterans here. A woman just wrote me, and I'm going to interview this, about how USAA is not doing insurance for veterans right now, and it was the largest insurer of veterans. Well, that's a horrible thing. I'm going to research this before I talk about it more, but things like that need to be dealt with. Okay, you want to write a check to Zimbabwe for this program, and the money's there, but you want to fund local veterans, our police, firefighters, things like that? Nah, let's discuss that more. Oil prices from the risk of Middle East. CNN is convinced that they're going to go through the flipping roof. And yeah, it will be interesting now that July is here to see what gas prices do here in California. They're scheduled to go through the roof, so that'll be good. Again, I don't know how politicians in states like mine think that they're going to be president of the United States when they've ran stuff into the ground. So you guys can tell me that one because I don't get it at all. Tariff uncertainty, is going to drive inflation higher. Is it going to drive inflation higher or not? I think things have gone through the roof right now. I really do. I think that prices are already so high that's unbelievable. And I'm going to give you two examples right now on this. And then, CNN complaining, mixed trade outlook brings more volatility. We have volatility in everything we do. But remember, this is going to be the summer of hell, okay? Maybe Jake Tapper is going to say that. Summer of hell. I'm going to write another book. Anyways, Dr. Marvin wrote me a great email. And it was personal about how, hey, Dan, you talk about how expensive things are. And my middle son is in the air conditioning business here in South Florida. And because he's in the air conditioning business, when Dr. Marvin needed his unit 2 years ago, he got it at a wholesale price of $2,400. Isn't that great? Great, his son did that. His son installed it. Probably did that for nothing for dad. But the point is that unit today is now $4,000. Okay. Now, back in the day when he looked at air conditioning units just to see what it would cost to have somebody installed, it was $4,000. Seems right. Today, that is $7,800 to $8,000 to install that unit today. That's wild, guys. How do you afford that? Now, again, he goes, Dan, it brings up the good point that you keep asking. Should we rent or should we own it? Because the advantage to renting, guys, is you call the landlord. The furnace breaks down, air conditioning unit breaks down, you call them and they better fix it. Better have it livable for us or else we won't be paying the rent. So with that, that brings up my friend. My friend just bought a house and he bought it from a real estate agent who had rented the thing out forever and it needed a new furnace. And she's like, listen, I don't believe in repairs. I'm just going to give you the money. Why don't I give you $5,000? And he was like, no, let's get a price. Why don't you recommend one of your companies that you've used in the past? Call this company. They're very inexpensive and very fast. It was $9,000 for the unit that she paid for. So again, guys, nothing is cheap. Things are only going up. You can complain about Jerome Powell. I think Jerome Powell hates Donald Trump. I really do. I think a lot of people do. But I just think that, when the economy needs an interest rate reduction just to spur it a little bit, kick it along, I think that this guy doesn't want to do it. Now, here's a question for you guys. Who do you think should be the next head of the Fed? Scott Bessent? Should we have a wild card out there? Who do you think should have that job? Because right now, if Trump names him, Trump's going to want somebody who's going to, cut interest rates daily. Hey, cut them again, cut them again. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think that this is good? Look at this cool little birdie out here, waiting for his prey. See that right there? Beautiful stuff you see out here at the lake. Let me know what you guys think so far, okay? But again, is this going to be the summer of hell? Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. With multiple wars going on around the world, central banks are turning to one thing, and that is precious metals right now. People need to get themselves into safe haven assets. The best place to call about that is Patriot Gold Group, 888-330-1431. Contact them today, guys. Let them answer all your questions. But gold has been money since the beginning of time. And if you look at what gold has done over the last few years and what silver has done, it's only going to go up from there. You've got technical analysts that have said that gold could go as high as $7,000 an ounce. You don't want to miss out on this, guys. Call them today, 888-330-1431. Let them know that Dan from I Allegedly sent you. You guys, I'm not just a spokesman for these guys. I am a customer of theirs. I love their customer service. #1 rated for 9 years in a row. No fee for life IRAs, 401ks backed by precious metals. Contact them today. Let them answer all your questions. Get a hold of Patriot Gold today. Use the link below or give them a call. Now, here are two things that you have to look at. Wells Fargo Bank has their main office in North Carolina, and it is letting go of 200 people based on the WARN notice, giving people the warning that they're closing, they're going to lose their job in 60 days, and there's 200 people. But it's think about this, in consumer lending. What is Wells Fargo going to not do any more lending anymore? Of course they are. What about IT infrastructure? No. What about logistics and management for deliveries? Well, of course they're going to still do that. And what about lending and risk management, you know. Okay, they're still going to do all of those things. And the IT department. The only problem is these 200 people, 100% of them can be replaced by AI right now. So that's that. That's the end of it, guys. And again, these are 200 adults that pay rent, that run families and pay their bills. And you know what? A computer is going to take over for this right now. That's crazy, guys. It's absolutely nuts to think about this. So the next thing is that in 2011, state of California lost about 300 companies that moved out of the state because it was too expensive to be here. Now flash forward, and we have 59,000 companies that they say they're large companies here in California. You had, in the last year, you had 1,300 of them relocate. That's crazy, guys. We're leaving. We're going to go make stuff someplace else. Again, this is so bad for a state like this to lose, and again, the expensive tax base, the weather's perfect, but you can't afford to have employees. Plus, it's such an employee-centric state. I mean, you know, people file workers' comp claims all the time. They insisted that I had to be on time. My boss yelled at me. And there's just ads over ads over ads here in Nevada for litigation. Did you get a personal injury accident? Did a workers' comp case? There's all these things all over the place. So, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But when you think about all these companies leaving, there's a great report from the public, audit committee talking about this, about how bad this is. And it's getting worse because what's going to bring people back to California? Who knows? I mean, I know people that love to retire here because of how beautiful it is. But as far as if you want to buy real estate, it's like Dr. Marvin said, what are you going to do? Would you rather pay rent or go out and have to fix your $8,000 furnace? So let me know what you think so far about this stuff, because there's a lot more to cover. But again, AI is going to change everything. AI is going to be a big deal. And you're going to see this with Wells Fargo announcing all these positions that are going to be gone. And they're just the beginning of this. Where do those people get a job at? They go work at another bank? Well, that most likely consumer lending. Why? You can have a computer figure this out now. You don't have to have somebody, sit there and punch the numbers and give me your pay stubs and all that stuff. Upload that to the computer. They'll give you an answer. Okay. I read a great story from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency about how they're going to work on fraud and going after people that have committed loan fraud and making sure you can't commit loan fraud. There was just the biggest bust for healthcare fraud, where they had billions of dollars and hundreds of defendants. And what it was, the stuff I talked about before, where people would go out and they would call seniors and they would order things for seniors basically through Medicaid, and it was never legitimate. These are things that people didn't need. I got a walker delivered to me. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, Dr. Marvin sent me an ad from Consumer Cellular, and they were talking about how, hey, if you get a cell phone sent to you, there's a glitch in our system. And the system is such that we can order cell phones. Like if they had your number and your name, you don't even need a social. You can get a replacement phone sent out to you. Only problem is you go out and then they call the number after you get it. I didn't order this. Oh yeah, Dan, I know you didn't order it. Just send it back to this address. Understand? It's not their address. It's not Consumer Cellular's address. It is the scammers. And this is something that's going on and on and on. Now, I have a wild story that I've never told anybody, other than the people that worked for me. 15 years ago, we had Sprint as one of our carriers because they had a geo-tracking device. It was one of the first ones in the entire industry, but it would track the employees. So we would know, yeah, I'm over here. I'm at this location. And then they were sitting at home. We could tell that once they turned it on, because they had to be at work and she wanted to log on to her job. Anyways, one day we get 4 boxes of 49 phones. 49, not 50, 49. And we'll call Sprint. We didn't order this stuff. Yeah, we don't have a show and order for you. Just don't worry about it. I'm like, well, no, I'm going to worry about this. Doesn't make any sense. I had my company name on it, had all the phone numbers. It took us 3 months and my attorney to get involved to get the phones back to them. Again, nothing showed up on a bill for us, but some scammer had ordered 49 phones. And I'm like, why didn't they order 50? Well, 49 doesn't require a credit check through corporate. So somebody was in on it with corporate and sent it to you guys. And what they were going to do is follow up and pick up the phones. And nobody ever did that. They were going to act like they were a Sprint employee and we were just going to give them the phones. And then they would have had 49 phones that they could have worked with. But I'm like, that is wild that you guys have this happen. So again, the Dr. Marvin scam, things come around. Now they're more sophisticated. But back then they just did it with 49 phones thinking that somebody was supposed to pick them up. And again, Sprint wanted nothing to do with the phones. Could have cared less. I could have called everybody, could have used them for 976 numbers. Remember those? You call a number, they charge you a fee, things like that. Yeah, okay, I could have had a really good time. Anyways, let me know what you think about this stuff so far. Have you ever experienced that? The other thing is all these projects, brushing, where people send stuff to you that is you didn't order. And they do it to have a fake Amazon review. They'll do it for a low tier item. They'll send out a few $100s worth of merchandise to different people around the country. Then they write unbelievable reviews for the product so that it looks like, oh my gosh, this was the greatest thing ever. You ever experienced that? I'm going to finish this video with these last few things. Don't forget, if you're on our email list, check your spam filter. An email just went out. You don't want to miss it. It was a good one. And spent a lot of time on that. And don't forget, we have a private channel called I Allegedly Live. You sign up at iallegedly.tv or use the link below and check it out. It's all the uncensored stuff that we can't talk about other places. It's absolutely amazing. I love doing that content. And final stories. First two are from Walmart. Walmart is substantially reducing the number of self-checkouts that they have in their stores. Why? For crime. So they're going to get rid of the self-checkout, and couples, Shrewsbury, Missouri is getting rid of them because of the high traffic, number of police calls. Cleveland, Ohio, similar to Shrewsbury, had a problem with crime as well. And then New Mexico has removed self-checkout lanes from 3 stores last year due to high crime statistics. Now, something that is absolutely disturbing with Walmart is their seed. When you buy seeds to grow a garden or grow flowers, they put an expiration date on those seeds. Now, I am walking through a botanical garden that is ran by volunteers. Pretty cool. It's in Huntington Beach, California. They're out here working every weekend, making this place look great, and they do it seasonally. But again, Walmart throws out thousands of seeds every year. Oh, these seeds are no good. They're fine. I've bought old seeds before and had success with my plants. It's ridiculous. So they just trash them and throw them away, where they could donate it to a place like this and they would be put to good use. And you'd have experts that would try to make them grow as much as possible. So let me know your thoughts on that. Again, Walmart does stuff that just infuriates me, and that's a good example of it. The crime, I get it. I mean, the crime is a problem everywhere, but what are you going to do? Make people check out? Okay, go through the register. Let me see what you got in your pants, type of stuff. You've all seen the videos. They're crazy. Big yellow tree right here. Glimpse of that. Final story. Ken Griffin, who owns Citadel, is worth $46 billion. He went on an auction and bought a bunch of artifacts from Abraham Lincoln. Now, one thing that he bought, he spent, almost $13 million in this stuff. One thing that he bought, which I thought was crazy, how is that for sale, was the Emancipation Proclamation. I love buying artifacts and signatured items and things like that through history. Again, a billionaire buying the Emancipation Proclamation. Is that insane? I mean, what is this world coming to? Why is that not in the Smithsonian or some other museum to have people appreciate it instead of Ken Griffin's house with his, his God knows what? You know what I mean? Anyways, either I like that guy or I hate that guy. Today, I'm not a fan of Ken Griffin. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you want to see. We have a huge announcement coming up very, very shortly that I cannot wait to share with you guys. And we'll see you soon. You want to get a hold of me? hello@iallegedly.com. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make good choices. I always tell my kids that. Okay? Good luck.